Welcome to Rich Conversations. Right now we're in a park outside my apartment in Chicago. We have Lakeshore Drive right behind us. Just a nice ambient sound from the whizzing cars. Anyways, I want to take a moment to discuss something that's been at the forefront of my mind over the last 3 or so years. Something that I've mildly obsessed over and I think about an irregular amount of time, I would say. What is that, you might ask? Well, it is. Are you ready for this? Payment systems and transaction software. This is what I have become obsessed with over these past few years, and that's the ease of transactions, the ease of movement through the ability of software. I think it's changing our world. It has changed our world in the last 3 years, a little bit more than that, but in the future it will just continue to be revolutionizing how we go about our lives. Let's take an example of this. I've been doing a lot of traveling recently, and it's amazing to me how, these things seem so small and insignificant, right? But the software and the technology we have and these, our phones, these things that I'm holding, right? This thing that I'm holding and using, right? Recording audio and video. The capabilities of it just make everything faster, quicker, so that you don't have to spend much time and energy on things that are more mundane. So something I mean by this is, before, when you go to an airport, right, you have to check in, and then you have to get your boarding passes printed. Sometimes you have to meet with somebody, talk to somebody. You need a customer service representative there to answer your questions. Now my routine when I go to the airport is I just click on an email, follow the steps to check in, and then I add my boarding pass to my Apple Wallet. And then when I get to the airport, I say hi to a representative and I ask where the security gate is that I'm supposed to go. And then you use the boarding pass, scans, show your ID, you go through, and then when you get on the plane, when you're boarding, you just bring it up on your phone. Scan. And I think it's so amazing. I think it's incredible. And going to sporting events or going to concerts, everything can sort of be done just through this device. And that's just one person going through, right? When I go to a Milwaukee Bucks game at Pfizer Forum, or even, I was at a Cubs game earlier this week. You just have it on your phone, the barcodes and whatever. You just scan and go in, scan, go in, scan, go in. Think about how much time and energy that has saved, and then money with employing people to take tickets, to look it over, and then to counteract counterfeits and fakes and things like that. It's so remarkable to me. And I'm so fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by the speed and the movement of people. People got to get from point A to point B. And with the technology and software that we create and continue to improve, we can speed that up. And I think we're just at the beginning of the possibilities and what it can bring. I believe the 21st century is going to be a lot about the movement of people. And software enables us to kind of actualize that, like realize that. When we apply our imagination, how else can we use software to move things around and save energy, save money, give energy? To me, that's so fascinating. Software engineers have been some of my favorite people to have on the podcast. I've really learned a lot from them. Software engineers are heroes to me. I really admire them. I appreciate them. Their skill sets and the value they bring to society, I'm in debt to. We're in debt to. Software engineers are, to me, the heroes of society. One of the many heroes, I should say. They see the future. They have a vision of what that future is, and on a daily basis, they're on their grind and they're building that future. And to me, I'm just so humble and grateful for them and for that and for what has been created. I once tried teaching myself how to code. This was like 12 years ago. I didn't get very far, and I realized this is not for me. This is not for me. I was self-aware enough to realize I don't enjoy this, but it helped me appreciate those that do code and do take that time and the skill sets that they have and the strengths. Thank you so much. So I don't have to do them. But they keep improving the software that, having built websites or designed websites 12 years ago, the things I can do now with the software and where it's at is incredible. I redesigned my entire personal website, and what would have taken me 6 months to do 12 years ago, I did in an hour and 48 minutes. I even timed myself. I was like, I can do this. Because of the software, because of how everything has been improving. So it allows people that don't have these certain skills, it makes it easier for those people. It makes it easier for everyone. It makes it cheaper to create a website, put your ideas out there into the world, and everything, the cost of it lowers and lowers and lowers, and the ease of doing things becomes easier and easier and easier. And that's really impressive to me. Sometimes I get into debates with people, some like confrontations, friendly confrontations about software versus hardware, which is more important and which will create the future more. So I have conversations with people about this. And so there's this one time I was in the Louvre in Paris, and sometimes I practice staging. So in a space or a setting, I'll place myself and then see what happens, right? So the Mona Lisa is in this gallery over here, and there's this other gallery that has these like seating, so these like the circle and then like cushions around this big kind of circle thing. So I'm like, there's a lot of volume outside the Mona Lisa, right? People want to see the Mona Lisa. It's the most famous painting in the world. I'm stage myself here and see what happens. So I sit on this cushion, this seating area, and then within about 5 minutes, this beautiful woman sits down next to me, and she's wearing a pilot's uniform. Whew! So we get to talking. Turns out she's a space engineer, and she flies She flies defense equipment all over the world, and the other pilots have to sign NDAs on each trip. Now that's impressive. So we start walking around the Louvre, and we're talking art, we're talking science, we're talking space engineer stuff, and we get into hardware versus software. And I'm coming from an appreciation of software engineers and what software does, but I understand software has no value without the hardware. She's coming from a space engineer perspective where she's focused on the hardware. And so we're back and forth. She's like, you effing nerds and your effing computers. This is the funniest thing. And I'm like, yeah, I get the value of hardware, but the hardware isn't valuable without the software. So it's kind of this chicken or egg thing, and we're going back and forth. And it's just so funny to me, these conversations. But I just have so much appreciation for both people and software and hardware. And it's made our lives easier, it's changed the world, and it will continue to change the world. So it's just something on my mind I want to share. It's just so funny. You effing nerds and your effing computers. Oh God, it's so funny. Software. The ease of transactions, the ease of payments, revolutionary.